Hello again. Just a continuation with the show and tell. A lot of you were wondering, how did I acquire my knowledge of Ukraine, and how come I write so much on my blog where it's just information overload? Well, here's my little secret. This. See this book? That's what I read at least 6 times before coming into Ukraine. Really nice book, actually. Andrew Wilson is the, well, Dr. Andrew Wilson, I must say, is the senior research fellow at the European Union right now on Ukrainian affairs. And he's also become an expert on Belarus as well. So he's recently written a book about Alexander Lukashenko's regime in Belarus. Also, he's written this book. Quite simply stunning, yes? This is pretty much, this book goes from the Kievan Rus all the way through to the 2009 gas crisis. This should be every AIESEC Ukraine intern's Bible, really. It was my Bible for, just to show you this, this was my Bible for I don't know how long, for the year that I spent preparing myself. And one other book that is always handy, excuse me, is of course a travel guide on Ukraine. Whoops, I always get this wrong for some reason. The camera is stationary. This is written by a guy who actually did a master's degree in Ukraine. He studied I think it was Ukrainian history, and he worked as an analyst for NATO. He worked as a master's student. Well, he was a master's student, and he also worked as a freelance translator. And now he's because of his wonderful experience in Ukraine, he has become a travel writer. I hope to follow in his footsteps. That'll be nice. But yeah, anyways, that's my secret out to the rest of the world, how I acquired that sort of knowledge. And one other thing I'll have to show you, if you're ever in Budapest, visit this place, the Terrahaza. It's dark tourism. It's not the most pleasant place to visit. It's like Tromolonsko, prison in Lonsky Street in Lviv, the political prisons, and the Chernobyl museum, but it is really well worth visiting. I actually stood in Imre Nagy's cell. He's the Hungarian nationalist who stood up against the Soviet regime and actually took over the parliament back in 1956 when the Soviets, under Nikita Khrushchev at the time, brought in the tanks and suppressed the Hungarian opposition powers. And one other thing, what was I going to say? Yes, so if you're ever in Budapest, please go. Please, please go. And I also picked up something in Sachsenhausen concentration camp. This is a nice little book, Berlin, 1945. This book I picked it up in Sachsenhausen concentration camp in Oranienburg. That's 2 hours, almost 2 hours away by S-Bahn from Berlin, from the center of Berlin. It's the famous concentration camp. It wasn't a death camp, but it had some high-profile celebrity prisoners. You might know some of them. One, Yakov Dugashvili. Name doesn't sound familiar? It's Joseph Stalin's eldest son. He was actually killed there by running himself into one of the electric fences, I think. Well, his death is still kind of murky. But Yakov was imprisoned in the Zellenbau, which is the celebrities' prison area. Also, another famous person was B.A. James, who wrote Moonless Night, which became the film The Great Escape, starring Steve McQueen, the Cooler King himself. If you ever want to watch a really nice, old-fashioned 60s film on World War II, Great Escape is one of the greatest films ever made. It's fantastic. And also, I was kicking myself when I found this information. Sachsenhausen concentration camp, the Zellenbau section, also housed a certain Ukrainian prisoner. You might know all about him. Stepan Bandera. Highly controversial figure, I know. I was kicking myself, actually. I actually took a picture of Yakov's cell, and then right next to it was Bandera's cell, and I didn't know who Bandera was at the time. This was 2010, people. I didn't really quite know a lot about Ukraine back then. I was kicking myself in Lviv when I found out, oh, Bandera was in Sachsenhausen. I was there 3 years ago. Damn. Oh well, next time. So if you're ever in Sachsenhausen, go to the Zellenbau. They say don't take pictures, but do take pictures anyway, because I did. If you're there, find Stepan Bandera's cell. Especially you, Western Ukrainians, you. Please take pictures for me, or I might, no, actually forget it, I'll take pictures anyway. But if you beat me to the punch, please do take pictures. Alright? Okay, this is the Crazy Asian Guy, over and out.